Welcome back for another video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and let's jump into it. In today's video, we're just going to backtest the NASDAQ from 3/10 or March 10th through March 14th. And I'm just going to do it going over these steps and just testing out or just redialing in my eyes for the week how I am currently refining my strategy. I did add one more refinement in about how I'm going to mark up some of the higher time frame confluences. So I'm just going to do that so I can prepare for the upcoming week and just have a successful week. And this is just going to help me call out all my trades for the Market Mentors Discord, where you can see I'm just dropping all of my analysis, my positions I'm taking, my winning trades, doing Q&A with some of the students in the Discord. We have people that focus on different things like stocks, stock options, different things like CFDs and Forex, funded mentors, and all kinds of things we're going to teach in this Discord. So be sure to check out the link in the description to join us, and we'll see you there. And getting back to it, we're just going to go and do the replay button. I've already marked up the trades for this week of March 10th through March 14th, just to make the video a little bit shorter, but I'm just going to talk through my reasoning for each of these trades and making sure I'm still seeing the same things with a fresh pair of eyes. So looking at it on Monday, I'll replay a little further. So looking at it on Monday, looking like we have a few early trades. At least we have one on Sunday here actually. So looking at this same confluences following this steps here, we see a sweep of liquidity here in the 15-minute. Sweeps this liquidity, breaks the downside, breaking the swing low, leaves a lot of imbalance at market open. So naturally, of course, you're thinking price wants to fill this gap, so it returns to this gap, and it looks like it gave us a sell on Asian session on Sunday. And it's happened a few times in the past few weeks, so really something to keep an eye out on, and I might have to start taking advantage of. Start the week off with it on a high, actually. So looking at it, we go down 1 minute, and it's seeing a lot of accumulation here. Breaks the upside, sweeps the swing high, then breaks the downside, sweeping this or breaking the swing low, distributing there. Leave some imbalance here, and then set your entry there, and then it hits take profit. So there's one win there for the week. Then if you want to be a little more ambitious to take this as well, you can take another sell here. This is a valid loss. See the accumulation here with these inside bars here. A little more choppy of a trade, just it's not as clean, but see the accumulation with these dojis and this inside bars here, then it breaks to the upside, breaks to the downside, and then you have your break here and imbalance here, so you just want to enter in there, and that would have been a valid loss. This is a little later in the Asian session for the night, but it's all good. I mean, you can take either one. You still would have been up on top for the day, and that's just a good start to the week at least. So then moving on to Monday, we're seeing another area of interest here based on the sweeping liquidity here, breaking this swing point and then these as well. Left some imbalance here, and then you can see it's going to pull back down to that area and gives a successful buy. Go down to the 1 minute. With this accumulation here, with this big candle, these inside bar, you see a break of this liquidity. See distributes to the upside, leaves this imbalance here, and then you're tagged in. Probably around right here. Maybe not with spread, so probably around right here, you're probably tagged in. Then it goes through right during the macro, so towards the macro end. So clean trade there. That's all that price could have gave you. It literally starts to break down to the downside again, and then just continues to go bearish. So it did give us the quick reaction we're looking for. So that's a solid trade. It's heavy 2 or 3 in the week so far, and it's just Monday morning, so pretty solid starts to the week. Then moving down some more into later Monday, I think Asian session gave us this sell here with this area of interest. Sweeping this liquidity here, these swing highs, then it breaks to the downside with this swing low. Leave some imbalance, and we're marking up this imbalance here to return to, because that's the one that broke this liquidity here, or this swing point. So it returned to this one, the next candle, then it gave us a valid sell setup, which is a little more choppy too. It's just the concept of these inside bars. Of course, you can count like this and all this whole range and consolidation and accumulation, but then it breaks to the upside, and you see it has a break to the downside, a really clean break with full candle body, and then it leaves this imbalance here. You can enter in there, and it hits your take profit. Could have probably used this range here for the accumulation, but still, it broke both of them. It's still a valid setup both ways, and it went through. So that could have been a solid start to that week there, and then we can go on to the next day. I believe Tuesday gave us the next setup, Tuesday AM session for New York. And I had this marked up, but I don't think I would have taken this, but let me go back and look why I didn't take this. So looking at it, this is another one, sweep of liquidity here, breaking to the upside here. I'm not sure why this is marked up, but I'm sure there's a reason why I didn't count this, but I'll go back now and see. And we'll go to this bar here for this imbalance. And I'm not sure why this isn't marked up. Probably because it's right at 6 o'clock or session open or market open again. So if I take it at this time at 6:09, the odds are I wouldn't have been tagged in here. The spreads and fees and everything would have been incredibly high, so I probably wouldn't have taken this trade or even been tagged in. But it is a valid setup, just the timing is a little off. If it was like 30 minutes later in the session, then I would have taken it, but it's just the timing. I probably would have had a crazy spread and probably wouldn't have been tagged in, or I would have just had a bad entry, and that's just a big gamble to take at that moment. So yeah, valid setup, just wasn't the right time for that. So then looking at the next trade setup, we see another sweep liquidity here, breaking this swing point, and then it leaves some imbalance up there. And then we see that it's tagged in, but I believe at this point, I remember this week actually, there's high impact news at 10 o'clock, so I personally don't trade during news. So like right here, the news was dropped. You see these big candles going in both directions and wicking a lot of stuff. So I wouldn't have traded this at all, but in theory, you could have taken the sell here based off this accumulation and then sold it to the downside, but not sure if that would have worked out with how the risk to reward would have been, but I just don't trade high impact news, so I wouldn't have taken a sell there, and that's why it's not marked up there. But anyways, that pushed us down to the downside to this bullish area of interest with the sweeping this liquidity here, breaking this swing point, then returning back to this imbalance that broke this swing point. And we see that it gave us a 1 minute setup here, gave us this accumulation of these inside bars and these swing lows here and swing highs, and then it sweeps to the downside, breaks to the upside. Very clean break, a lot of imbalance here, so we entered in there, and it went through and hit take profit. So it looks like that was it for New York AM session on that day. So going on to the next trade setup. Another valid area of interest setup on the 15 minute. See a sweep liquidity here, breaking this swing point, leaving this imbalance here, and this is the imbalance that looks like it broke this one. So actually it might have been this one here, so let's see if we got a higher buy setup. I don't think we did, but yeah, looking at it, no, we wouldn't have gotten a higher buy setup. There's no type of distribution here or anything, so just gonna let it play down. It's still valid to buy lower areas here, so it played into this imbalance here, and then it gave us a valid loss where we see, not sure why this isn't marked up either, but it should be marked up as this is the accumulation of these two candles here, these inside bars, at least 2 or 3 candles here, and it barely distributes above it and leaves a little bit of imbalance here. So in theory, I would have entered there. If this was real time, I would have entered there. It would have been a valid loss, and that's okay. It's still valid to continue to look for sell or buys in this area until this swing low down here is broken. So then yeah, would have went on to this next one, and it would have been another setup here, would have been this accumulation here. It would have broke to the downside, manipulating that swing low, then break to the upside, distributing there, leaving this good imbalance here to enter in at, and it would have hit take profit. I'm not sure why my fib expansion is not on for these two examples, but it should be, and it's not for some reason. So would have went for around 3 standard deviations there, and this one was valid loss, so I can just skip that one for now. But overall, would have been a solid day, but going 2 for 3 on Tuesday, so good solid week so far in that aspect. So going to Wednesday was high impact news here at 8:30. It was a lot of news this week, surprisingly. It wasn't NFP week, but still was a good amount of news. And we're seeing a bearish area of interest here. So right now we're looking for a sell because you see a sweep of the buy side liquidity here, breaking this swing low, leaving this imbalance, and looking for it to return here and give us a sell move. And we had the first one be a valid loss. So you see this, I'm not sure why it's not marked up again. It should be marked up. You can say like, hey, this was the accumulation here, or even here, and then saying, okay, slipped above this accumulation, broke to the downside, left this imbalance, and it was a valid loss. Then it gives us another setup because it's a valid area until it starts breaking above these swing highs with like full body candle closures in the higher time frame. It gives this accumulation here, sweeps to the upside, breaks down, leaves the imbalance, and it keeps going down. So valid trade there, valid win there. You got to just hold the trade and trust it, and then it hits take profit. So yeah, one of the trades you got to trust your analysis, and it ended up going through, and that takes us down to the next area of interest. And then here we're same concepts. We're seeing the sweep liquidity here, breaks or sweep just above it, breaks this swing low, and then it leaves the imbalance here. So looking for a sell once it tags back into this imbalance area, and you see it's formed here with this accumulation here. Then it sweeps above it, sweeping all this liquidity. Then it breaks to the downside, distributing down, giving us this minor imbalance here, and then it goes and hits take profit. And yeah, not sure why the fib expansion is not working or not on here. It should be up here for my take profit, but it's not showing for some reason. So anyways, it still hit take profit. So next trade setup, next area of interest looks like it's forming. So here we could have had potentially a buy, sweeping this liquidity here, breaking this swing high, and then it returns to this imbalance that was left behind from breaking that swing high. Maybe we didn't get a buy and mark it up, so let's see. Yeah, it's looking like this would have been the accumulation, sweep to the downside, then break into the upside. Would have tried to have entry here. Looks like we weren't tagged in. Looks like it's just taking off without tagging us in. So it's all good. It happens sometimes. Move on to the next trade and see if we can get the next area of interest that forms on, I guess, Friday. That'd be it for Thursday. So for Friday, looking at these areas of interest here, sweeps this liquidity here, the swing low, breaks to the upside with the swing point, leaving this imbalance that broke the swing high. And then we see that it plays around a little bit, builds more liquidity to be swept. Then it pulls down to this imbalance, sweeps all this liquidity, and it gives us a move on the 1 minute time frame. Got this accumulation here, sweeps to the downside, sweeping the liquidity, breaks to the upside, distributes, leaving this imbalance here between these candles. Then we set our targets, and it hits take profit. This is one you had to hold over the weekend. Actually, this is on Sunday, so that's actually it for this week. So looking at it, the next week gave us 2 wins on Sunday. That's in a previous video I just did. So those are 2 solid wins. So looking back at it, this would have been a pretty smooth week. It would have been not too many trades, 10 trades. It would have been 7 for 3. Let's go ahead and recount it again, just for the sake of showing it. So this would have been Sunday, so it would have been 1 win, 2 wins, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 on this Thursday. No trades on Friday. So yeah, 7 wins for that week. And then we have 1 loss, 2 losses, and 3 losses, which are all valid in this instance. There's nothing you could have done differently. Just valid losses to take. And then we would have been 7 for 10 on the week. So 70% win rate. That's extremely profitable. It's really good percentage-wise and because of how we set our targets. So that's a lot of profit to take from the week, and it's nothing to be ashamed about. That's a good win percentage, good week, and it's not too many trades. So I would personally prefer a week like this. I prefer to do like 8 to 12 trades a week. But some weeks I had to do like 15, 16, 17 trades, unfortunately. But that's why I'm refining. I've found a new confluence about how I want to mark up my higher time frame bias, and that's going to help me, I think, limit the amount of trades I'm taking and take more quality trades and to capitalize a little more. So with that, I'll wrap it up here. Be sure to like and subscribe. Check out the link in the description for the Market Mentors Discord, where we teach all of this every single day and show our own winning trades every day and get you guys profitable. So with that, I'll see you guys in the next video.